A warm welcome to the presentation for the course of Information Retrieval and Extraction. Our major project involved semantic annotation of documents, which was the project number 18. We are team 20 with our mentor being Dr. Priya Radhakrishnan, and our course instructor for this course was Professor Vasudev Verma. Our team includes Rohit SPK, Nikhil Savanke and me, Sharvil Kataria. So what a problem statement demanded was we had to annotate and document with a Wikipedia article that it matches with its content the most, which should be in a semantic way and not just syntactical way, as in to just look at the same words, right? So for this we used various classifications like random forest, support vector machines, logistic regressions, and other possible classification algorithms. So our corpus consisted of ACM research papers, with each research paper having title, author, location, timestamp, etc., with abstract being in most of the research papers. So the number of research papers which had abstract was somewhere around 2.5 lakh. And we used a test size of 10% for the entire data set, which was split randomly. So I'll be now going through the methodology that we used. So the first thing that we did was we mapped the research paper to a higher or a broader topic. In this case, we mapped it to 4 topics, which are artificial intelligence, databases, computer vision, and information retrieval. So we made a scraper to get the summary for each of these broad topics, to try to understand which for each and every research paper which fits it the best. So along with this, the pre-processing step also involved the removal of stop words, stripping of extra white spaces, punctuations, tags, etc. And we split the data randomly. So there are two major representations that we thought of using, the word2vec and the doc2vec. The word2vec basically represents a word in some vector format, in some vector representation, whereas a doc2vec represents some paragraphs or say documents or sentences into some vectors. Now these vectors have the size of the parameter dimension which has been given here, and this can easily be tweaked to as and how we like it. So we had the dimension set to be set to 100, and we basically did this in order to avoid problems of overfitting and multicollinearity, so that we don't overlearn from the parameters that we have. And we used epochs for our classifications. Basically an epoch is just the number of time we use the training vectors to update our weights. Now these epochs can typically go up to say even 50 for deep learning, but we went for around a little lesser of 10 epochs approach. And then each classification, the classifier takes these model vectors from the word doc2vec representations that we get. So while training, we are passing these model2vec representations of the abstract of the research paper along with the labels, and for testing we are passing these model vectors. So since the number of dimensions for each and every vector are the same, basically we can use this for any type of standard classification algorithms out there. So of course the feature selection, as I said, I mean the dimensions are basically all left to our novelty, and the number of features as we increase, of course the data will increase. I mean the accuracy of the data and the other evaluation parameters will increase. So the word2vec uses basically two architectures over which extension has been done for for Doc2Vec. So these two representations are continuous bag of models and the skip-gram models. So a continuous bag of model is basically a neural network that predicts the current word with the help of its surrounding words. Whereas what a skip-gram does is it tries to predict the surrounding words with the help of the current word. Now the training is, of course, involves classic back propagation algorithms and along with a few optimization and approximation techniques like hierarchical softmax. As I said, the Doc2Vec is only different in the sense that it represents a sentence with a fixed length vector to be used for a classification algorithms. So a Doc2Vec basically is for Doc2Vec we use two different architectures which are extensions for the ones that we use for Word2Vec, which are the DM or the distributed memory model and the DBOW model, which is the distributed bag of words model. So what they are is basically DM model basically tries to predict a word given its previous words and the paragraph vectors, as can be seen in this picture over here. And we use basically some averaging or method to get these to try to predict the current word using the amount of data that is given. And of course as we're looking at the previous words, the data moves with a window, basically as we're looking at the k previous values. And in a distributed bag of word model we basically predict a random group of models given only its paragraph vectors, as can be seen in this picture also. So moving on to the evaluation parameters that we used MAP and NDCG. The reason for this is because these are multi-relevance evaluation parameters, meaning that the other parameters are done with keeping in binary data in mind, but this clearly is a problem of multi-label and multi-class data, as we'll be coming to as I'll be speaking on little later in the presentation. So what is a map value? Map value is basically just the average of the average precision values for some set of queries. Now average precision value is just the precision values the average of the precision values at each point as and when the point comes for the relevant data when it gets retrieved. So say if of course in this case if a relevant document never gets retrieved, we assign the relevance code to that to be of 0. So the basic problem with map is it is macro average, as in it gives equal preference to each and every classes or the different relevance functions. But NDCG basically gives a graded relevance of the recommended entities for a particular system. So this basically helps because it helps us understand how much is the gain or the usefulness of the data that the system gets from each and every data point. And so basically the gain is discounted for lower ranks, and of course it is the highest for the top ranked. So the discount function that we used was as can be seen in the picture over here, which is 2 to the power of the relevance for the ith class minus 1 by the log of 1 I plus 1, and we summed it up of course. So the DCG values are basically calculated by taking the ratio of the ideal DCG values by the ones of the predicted values. So the ideal ones in this case we know are of the test labels, and the predicted values also of course we know via our classifier. So since this is a ratio, the value generally it varies between 0 to 1, with 1 being the ideal mix. So for the ACM dataset, we use 3 different classifiers, which are the logistic regression, linear SVC classifier, or the SVM classifier with linear kernels, and neural networks. The neural networks we implemented from scratch. possibly the reason why the values for that are a little higher as compared to the others. So as we can see, the map value is significantly a little higher for the DI model as compared to the distributed bag of words model, because it's using the previous words and the paragraph vector to try to get a valid representation or a valid result. And typically the map value for logistic regression is around 0.7, whereas so it varies between say 0.69 to 0.71 given different classifiers, with the neural network performing the best for the map value, followed by the logistic regression and then by the linear SVC classifier. For the NDCG value, however, the neural network gives the least value. Maybe this is because of the macro averaging property of the map value, and clearly in this case the logistic and the linear SVC classifier give the best value, with neural network performing the least, and the NDCG value in this case goes up high to say 0.97, whereas for neural network it falls down to something around 0.86 itself. So this is a these are the graphs for the IMDb dataset that we use for the phase 1. Even in this, we see that the logistic regression performed the best. So clearly, it seems to this classifier seems to be of paramount importance in this classification, in this part of research. The major problems that we face from moving from the IMDb dataset to the ACM dataset. Basically, in IMDb dataset, we had positive reviews and negative reviews, and then we tried to predict whether a review is positive or not. So in this case, however, there were multi-class and multi-level data. So this increases the complexity of the problem significantly. So for this, what we used was 1 versus the rest classifier, or 1 versus the all classifiers. So what we do is we fit, we generate n classes classifiers. Basically, the number of classifiers will be of equivalent to the number of classes that we have, and what we do is we just check each classifier checks whether it belongs to that particular class or not. So this is highly important to us because it gives us an idea how well our data set is doing for a particular class, and it gives us an idea for why it is failing on the it can give us an idea of why a particular data set is not doing well. So a couple of references goes out to the Doc2Vec tutorials and the paragraph vector research papers, the neural topic models research paper, the distributed representation of sentences and document research paper, even to the Stanford slides for the various evaluation parameters that they gave. And so as you can see over here, these are the results obtained after the program for the classification has been run. And I thank you for watching. I hope this shed some light for future research, and once again I thank you for watching. Thank you.